Well, it's official. After 17 years of using WordPress, I'm saying goodbye. I've thought about this in the past, maybe of going all in with, I don't know, at one point I thought ClickFunnels 2.0. I know. We all have errors in judgment. That never happened. Or maybe switching to Ghost or just using Substack. However, I know enough about SEO and the way the web works after all this time to know that it's still really important to have your own property and to have all your own content on a property you own. Well, enter vibe coding, which I've started talking about. So today, that's what we're going to jump into. We're going to jump into the new website that I'm just about done with. Of course, I had to restore it to a previous version this morning, but that's neither here nor there. I've got enough to show you, and yes, I know that I bring a different level of experience to this, but stick with me. I want to show you what's possible. And the fact that you can do this simply through prompting, you guys, we are living in one of the most amazing times ever. And I completely get that there's concerns about AI, but for lack of a better expression, we're not putting this genie back in the bottle. And if I can use this to help me manage my business, to create things that solve problems for my audience. And for what it's worth, AI has been a beautiful respite from the shit show that we're living through in the United States. So I love it. I'm not going to justify why I use it, but I think there's a ton of use cases for it for everybody. All right, enough of that. Let's jump in and I'm going to show you my brand new website, the front end and the back end. All of this has been built with Lovable.dev, and it's through vibe coding, like I said, which vibe coding is essentially coding things that you want simply through talking and prompts. All right, so here we go. So what you're looking at here, this is the new homepage, and I'm going to walk you through this for what it's worth. I also did not import any of my WordPress content, and I was going to, but when I looked at the content and the direction that I'm heading, it didn't make sense. Of course, I downloaded the entire site and I've got all of my content, but this is really a new chapter. My focus is 100% on utilizing AI in a way that works for you, whether it's writing or images or creating automations and using agents or building assets. There's a ton of use cases that we probably don't even know are available yet. So what you're looking at, this is the homepage, and this is for a quiz that I'm going to show you guys the quiz. I've done a little sneak peek. The buttons aren't linked, but I have built my own quiz that returns scores and results and 8 business within archetypes. And I've tweaked it a little bit. Sorry, I was wearing slippers. I gotta take them off. So I tweaked it a little bit. So it's going to deliver results based on how you can use AI in your business. So here we are. Here's the hero section. So discover your business within. I am launching an AI community for women. And so this is what that is about. And you can see we've got little animations. These little things make me excited. So why the community? This will be a screenshot of the community, which I'm building my own community and course platform. I will do a separate video on that, and it's called Typecraft. So you'll see that shortly. I think I may have done a sneak peek of that too. And yeah, these buttons were all linking to the waitlist, which is coming. And the goal of this is end of August to launch the community. So these are just samples. Some of this needs to be tweaked, the copy and whatnot, but this was right out of the chute, you guys. Now, a couple things. These were all my colors. The only thing, this is my Kim Doyle logo that I have used for years. It works. I'm not going to change it. I like it. I was using Poppins as a font. I'm not going to get really niggly with some of this stuff. So I changed the font. It's still similar. It's plus Jakarta Sans, for what that's worth. So here's the homepage. Now we will jump over. I've already got these open for you. So here is the about page, and I think I might need a little padding here. So this was the copy from my WordPress site. So I just pulled this over, and I can tell you right now, like, I love these little wave dividers, and I was thinking about adding one here. Maybe not. And I haven't edited any of this copy, but see, I'm pulling the wave in again here, who I am, what I do, a little more about me. So anyways, this is just a fun about page. Now this, you guys, the blog, yes, I built in a CMS, which CMS stands for Content Management System. I built my own custom CMS in the back end, which I am going to show you. I've only pulled one post over. I've got more in the back end, and I copy and pasted this from Substack. And the one thing you might be familiar with is setting a canonical URL, which basically tells Google, index this, not that. And I don't know, I have to double check if that's available with Substack. So we'll see. But at the same time, to my understanding, Google doesn't penalize for duplicate content. And they're both under my name. All right, so let's look at what the individual post looks like. That did not link. So there you go. But this is what an individual post looks like. That should have opened the post. So this is the kind of stuff that gets really, really tedious because it's like, you got to check, you got to check, you got to check. And every time you change something, it's really important to double check things, which I didn't do yesterday. Second time I've done this, but I guess I like to learn the hard way. This should say AI tools in the nav on every page. It does on some, not the others. Anyways, this will open the quiz, the lead gen. So see how it says AI tools here? So I've switched it. I will have a category here that includes non-AI tools. Now, this is where something went sideways yesterday, so I will have to fix this. But this is made up. So unless there might be a Sarah Chen out there who is in AI and maybe it pulled it, I haven't double checked. But so weekly, this will change. So I've got an essential tool, a key concept, and then we'll focus on an innovator in AI. I will drop in my Whisper Flow video here. So I will have a featured tool every week and swap that out. So here's the categories. Now, the categories don't belong here. This should have learn about AI terms or tools, terms, and innovators. So essentially mirroring these three categories, but just exploring all of it as opposed to one. Okay. And plus, I don't use these purple, green, orange. It just went off the rails. Anyways, so you'll see. This is the goal of this is within a week that the site is done. And let me tell you what I did with this, okay? Because this is kind of where the magic happens, is I went into Gemini because Google owns Gemini. And I'm going to trust, not that I don't trust Claude or ChatGPT or any other ones, but I wanted to create an SEO sort of hub spoke model. And so that's what we've done with this next piece. So you have the AI tools directory. So you've got tools, and then you've got directory, and I didn't test. Hold on, apology. Oh, that's the community. That's interesting. Now I'm looking at, okay. So what you're seeing, this is interesting, the community, I'm looking at the tab. It says AI tools directory. It's not. Anyways, so you can sort by, you can pull up the category or pull one up. These are the different tool categories. You'll be able to search. And what I'll do, because this is just going to get extensively longer and longer, is this will be collapsible. So you'll be able to open and close because as you can see, it scrolls for days. So let's go ahead. And so here's the LLMs, large language model. Let's go ahead and click on Gemini. And it shouldn't open in the middle of the page. So that's fixable. So here's every single tools page looks like this. So there's a 10-second version. And this is explained in kind of everyday language, not developer language. This is something else I'd fixed. We need to add padding here. But why you should care, what it enables you to do. Here's a real world example. And of course, these will link over. It links to Gemini. Key features that matter. There's pricing plans. Here's best use cases. Here's how to get started with it. And then these will all, I'm wanting to point to the screen. These will all link. So each of the related tools will link to the other tool within the site. So do you see how I'm starting to build this sort of SEO machine on the back end of internal linking, which is something that Google loves. So anyways, every single tool. And now, do I do this live? Yeah, let's go ahead and see what happens. Let's see if the terms pages got updated. So the terms, the tools, and then once I've got innovators in here, okay, good, it did. There will be, so essentially these are directories for the terms, the tools, and the people. So I'm going to highlight and feature other people. These are the terms categories. If you are new, start here. And so you'll see, here's the tools that you should, here's the terms that you need to understand. So, okay, and that didn't link. You see the testing that goes on. And here's the tricky part of this is that you have to be careful with the guardrails. So I think I'm going to play around with learning how to set better guardrails when I do updates. And I did a post on Substack about getting greedy and wanting to add too much, and I broke a bunch of stuff. So anyways, but you can see how this works. So this is an intermediate term. This is for beginners. Here is an advanced term. Like, what is this stuff? Okay. So let's jump into the categories, the community page. So this is essentially a sales page for the community. And again, these will link to just a get early notification and a surprise bonus. But I have created all of this, you guys. All of this has been created with Lovable. These are big testimonials. This is my course and community platform that I'm hoping is ready end of August. Also, I'm very ambitious, but we might just say September. Anyway, and some of this we'll test. We'll see what's working. And all of this has the SEO element built into it. Okay, so, here's the admin. Okay, I'm going to show you the difference between the blog posts, the MCP content. Oh, and you know what I didn't show you? Excuse me. Let's hope this link works live. The shop, I also created my own little e-commerce. Okay, it's loading still. And very, very simple. I wanted to do like a one-click, not a one-click checkout. You can see I've just duplicated the same stuff. Pardon me. I did the dollar to test it. I did not feel like dealing with Stripe's sandbox mode where you can test stuff with. I was like, no, this isn't. Here's my own tools that are going to be ready. Here's where you can learn more and apply. But let's go ahead and let's add this to cart. Okay, so you can see in the top right, let me just move over the tele window. The top right, I've got my little shopping cart. So let's click that. And over on the right-hand side, you can see I've added this workshop, which I moved, by the way, and I'll have the link to that. It's been moved to August. So you can proceed to checkout. And there we go. So I have to look at, I won't talk about slow loading images right now. So this is just dummy, but you can see that you can add upsells to this too. And I do that on the back end when I create the products. So here's a visual guide to Substack. And then you watch, I'll just show you complete the purchase. Watch, I'll show you, it's not working. But it was. This is where, when I say this is not for the faint at heart, it's not, but I love doing this and I'm having a ton of fun. And the fact that then I can say, wait, I want to add this, make it look like this. All my sales pages, I can get the copy, write the copy and go, build a sales page, use my colors. I want a hero section that says this, add this button. I mean, blows my mind. All right, let's come back into the back end here. All right, so you can see there's a bunch of stuff in here. And the only one published is this. All of these that you're seeing have been created with the MCP. And I'm going to show you that in a minute. But let's go ahead and let's open the post that I've created. So here's the blog post. Here's your title. You can generate with AI, and you can see that something is wonky here. This has been working, and so this is where you have to be careful about feature stuff. But I'm at the point where I don't need any other features. I just got to get a handful of them working. You can also regenerate. Okay, so these are more in line with the content. And this is where I was talking about Whisper Flow. When you type in the title of the post, it automatically generates the slug. You can upload the image. I did this image in Gemini, and it's the same image in Substack. So here you'll see I've got my own little SEO scoring. This WYSIWYG, now I've had a couple, and WYSIWYG, if you're not familiar, is what you see is what you get. The copy and paste from Substack formatted this beautifully. I'll show you one of the MCP posts, and for some reason, it's not doing the hard return with the spacing of the paragraphs. And then I've also tried to build in an internal linking, which we're getting there. Okay, so here you go. Here's the focus keyword AI tool. Here's the meta description, which you can also regenerate or generate. And so AI tool, you can see that that's in here. It will come up with internal link suggestions when I have additional posts published. Right now, I do not. That, by the way, that's Grammarly telling me to correct stuff, but we're going to ignore that. It gave me an SEO checklist because the other thing that I asked for was, I said, thinking with AI SEO? Like, how do you get pulled up within ChatGPT search and all of these other, Perplexity has Comet as a search and a browser. So I did this with Claude. I go back and forth with Claude, and then I come in and I do the prompts within Lovable, or I'll use Gemini. I use ChatGPT for a ton of stuff, but I find with code, Gemini and Claude are still better. Here's the search preview. It tells me what to do here. And again, the site's not live, so I'll fix that. And then we've got these little things. These were sort of the AI stuff. So featured snippet optimization. This looks good. AI search optimization. Not totally sure what that means, so I will ask. And the content structure. So this is great. Like, add an FAQ. Why not? Why not, right? Oh, I haven't put this in. So the goal then is at the end of every post. So this is Whisper. If I wanted to say, I have an affiliate link for Whisper, try Whisper here and the URL then, and it would stick the button into the post. So a couple other things I will show you in another post. Let's go into this. So I've come in and updated this, but you can see, and this is generated by the MCP, which is Model Context Protocol. And I've talked about that in other posts, but it's short. There's not a lot of content, the words. So this is something that, to me, how I think of using the posts generated by the MCP, I think of using those as starting points. And then I'll come in and I'll write and I'll edit and I'll tweak and adjust. Okay, but let me show you, just because this is not post. So here I can, of course, add in an image, but I can add in an audio. Let me just grab something really quick. Here, we'll do something short. And it might take a minute for it to appear. Sometimes the screen recording will do that. So we'll come back up to that in just a second. Or is it dropping it in? Because sometimes it was dropping it lower. So the cursor's here. And if that doesn't work, then it needs adjusting. So you can drop in a YouTube video. And let's go ahead and grab. Here is my happy sounds that I listen to when I work. The ocean. Oh, nope. I didn't copy the. Let's do that. Let's see if this inserts. And again, sometimes it slows down. But, you know what I should have showed you? Let me just show you here so we're not waiting. There is a native audio player. And the point of that is you want to think accessibility. So for people maybe that have a harder time reading and want to listen to the post, my plan, I haven't done it yet, is to use 11 Labs to clone my voice, put the post in, and I've got plenty of places to host audio. We'll drop it in. So I did drop in the video here. Okay, so what I did, hey, you guys, this is called practicing in public. I love it. But when I put in a video, there's supposed to be a gear on the bottom right-hand corner. And what the gear will let me do is resize the video and realign the video. So I want it left, center, or right aligned. All right, now let me show you the MCP. Well, let me show you the products first, because that's quick. The MCP might take a little bit longer. So you come in here, create a new product name, description, price, category, publish or not. You can choose if it's a digital download, like an ebook or something. You can add in an upsell, and you can see these are all redundant. A custom thank you page will be generated from the product itself. And the kit email form, I had gotten this working too. But so basically, I thought about using Kit's API. So some of this stuff gets a little squirrely and might be more advanced than some people want to do, but I like doing it. So anyways, then you do your rich description, and then you've got more images, SEO, all that kind of stuff. Now, the thing that I don't know if I'd hit it yet, but is obviously every product needs its own standalone page also, because when you look at the shop, it's got like just these little boxes. So did I put it? Let's see here. The products. So you can see there's a learn more and an add to cart. I don't think, those aren't set up. But because the point is, wouldn't it be great if somebody saw 2 sentences of your product and was like, I want to buy it? Well, good luck. But you want people to be able to learn more about the product. Now let's come back here, and we're going to go straight here to the MCP content. I'm going to make this up as I go, and we'll see what this turns out. So what you want to think about this is connected to Claude. The MCPs will go, and I've created all these parameters for the target audience, the type of language, my voice, all this kind of stuff. So the topic would be building a website with AI using Lovable. Primary keyword. Let's try this. Use AI to build a website with Lovable. Oh, I didn't capitalize that. So it would be website with Lovable. I don't, none of these need to be capitalized here. So this would be build with AI, website with AI. Let's just do Lovable.dev. So this is interesting. So what it started doing, I've got these angles. So let's say this is AI gives us our time back. I spent a lot of time on this website. The MCP was automatically using that as the category, which is not relevant. It's really more for my own thought in tracking the content I'm creating under these different angles. So the pain point, I need a new website and don't want to use WordPress anymore. Desired transformation, build my own website with AI. Looks great, is fast, and I can manage. How's that? All right, so then you can add a custom call to action. Let's see. So this will take a second. So we'll let it generate the content. But here's a few things to keep in mind. And if you want, I actually have a guide. So just go ahead and put guide in the comments and I'll give you, it's just a PDF. I'll drop the link in for you. And so just type guide in the comments and I will send you the guide. And all right, this didn't pull up anything. It was working, but you'll see, I don't know what happened here, but it was working. And so I will get this sorted again. I don't mind, again, sharing. And then I don't publish from here, but what happens, because you can see test MCP not working. Let's save the draft. Oh, title and content, test. Let's save the draft. And then it should appear in blog post section. Yeah, here we go. I'll get that working because it was working. Like I said, I've had to restore it. And a couple things. So first of all, oh, let me show you one other thing I almost forgot about. And that would be, where is it coming soon? Let's just do this. I've already pointed my domain name to this. And this is for the upcoming workshop, which I don't know if I updated the date. It is August 21st. Yeah, it was going to be July 24th, which is tomorrow from the time of this recording. But we've got contractors in the house and it's going to be really loud and they're demoing a bathroom behind me. So I'm back to the site. Couple things to keep in mind. One is obviously you need your content. And I would start with just kind of the basic 5 pages, home, about, blog. I would still continue writing content, maybe services or products, and contact. That's kind of where I would start to build a new site. Again, if you're interested in the guide that you can then just give to whichever tool you want to try, and you can use Lovable free for, I think it might be 20 credits a month, but you can use it free. There's a handful of other tools you can try. I'm just pretty invested with Lovable because I've built a handful of things in here. So just comment guide and I'll give you the starting point with that. What I would do, have your content, know which pages you want to create. And then the other thing that I would do is go find some websites that you like the way they look. You can take a screenshot because you can literally upload and attach an image in Lovable and say, I like this style. Look at the fonts you like and start from there. The other little fun tip that you might want to add into this, and you'll see with the document that I'm going to share with you guys, is you want to talk about your audience and who you serve and what you're going to be writing. The more context you can give it, the better. And what I will probably do moving forward, because truly, this community page, where is the community page? I'll just click on it. But you have to look at why that's showing up here. So I already have the copy for the community page, and I had a tendency, I started designing with using Claude because Claude will produce code. Claude will give you everything you need to then copy and paste the code and just give it to Lovable. Gemini will as well. ChatGPT will give you code also. I just found that I liked working with Claude more so, like I said, more so than ChatGPT. And the fact is, Claude will generate the code and so you can actually see it. Gemini will do the same thing. So it's not a mock-up, it's the visual of the code it just generated. Okay. But have some of those things ready to go when you start this. And there's a handful of other tips and tools and stuff. Again, I'm going to do a workshop specifically on building a website. But if you want to know how to build something, because I've got lead magnets that I'm building, I've got full apps. I've got an AI quiz generator app and a course and community app. I get it that I've been doing this for a long time, but here's what I'm going to challenge you to do. And that's my new hashtag because I like making up hashtags. Just try it. You have nothing to lose by simply giving a prompt and saying, help me do this. And here's another tip. When you're working in Claude, ChatGPT, or Gemini, say, this is what I want to do. What do you need from me to help me plan out the best approach? You can give the document I'm going to give you. The best approach so that I can get a full website from ideation to launch looking the way I want it to. What do you need from me? And it'll tell you. You guys, I'm just having so much fun with this. Even on the days when I lose my mind because I've built a bunch of stuff out and something breaks. It's okay. Just come back to it. And the beauty, let me show you this, is within Lovable, as an example, this is my login. See this little magic button up here? You can see that I have done different restores. So I'm not going to go into this, but when I was running into the issue, all of a sudden the individual pages and terms that I had spent a lot of time creating, I was getting a white page. No idea why. So I kept restoring and restoring until I got there. My last tip for you when you are using a tool like Lovable or to do anything with vibe coding is when you do a major functionality update, which I think I know what happened, but when you do something that's a major functionality update, do a quick test. And it only takes one test. You know, like I didn't need to go in, where's the directory? I didn't need to go in and test, again, the community, that is so weird that it's in the tab. I didn't need to test every single one. Here we go. So I didn't have to go and test every single one. All I knew was that as soon as I had clicked through to Perplexity and it was a white page. So I tested 2, and then I also realized my about page was blank. I'm like, all right, something happened. Again, always test something when you've added functionality. Just do a quick double check of your pages, make sure the functionality that you've already set up is working, and you'll be good to go. And if not, you can restore it. But the sooner you check, the less you're going to lose when you go to restore. Anyways, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Again, go ahead and comment guide, and I'll happily give you that document. That is a huge starting point. Lovable uses React. The whole thing is built in React, so the guide will walk you through how to do that with React. And if you have any questions or want to try this, or if you want to work one-on-one with me, I don't have any packages or pricing or anything just yet, but the more people I can help initially, the better I learn in terms of this works, this doesn't, or the language or the true pain point. Thanks so much for watching. And the next video will either be, I think, probably type quiz. This is all, I'm doing a series of videos based on my sneak peek, which I'll link to that in the comments. Also, you can see a little bit of what I've been doing with everything. And I'm going to do a deeper dive with each thing I'm doing. So that's it. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. It obviously helps. And I'll catch you next time.